All right, what is up, YouTube? It's Robert Falco from Real Life Trading with your Monday stock review. Today is Monday, December 13th. We are only a couple weeks away from Christmas. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas out there and a happy holiday season. In the meantime, looks like the market is just in a holding pattern, waiting for Jerome Powell to figure out what is going to go on Wednesday. So we have a couple days away from the Fed meeting and the minutes. Again, this little lower wick on SPY is not actually there. This purple line is where that candle actually stopped intraday. So this is a false wick. We have this open retest gap that I think could start to fill. And again, I'm just waiting on, what's Powell going to do? Is he really going to double the speed of the taper, which sounds like they probably are, especially after that monster inflation report of last week. And overall, the market's really being held up by a few names. I think the story of the market right now is everybody is hiding. You don't want to have a bunch of cash that you're guaranteed to lose on to inflation, because inflation is officially at 6.8% year over year. But we all know that that number is probably north of 10% because they're magically saying that, housing is only up 3.5%, which is a total lie. So you're getting killed if you're just sitting in cash. Although you're not losing, 40, 50% like some of these growth stocks. You don't want to be in a ton of cash. And so you're hiding out in some of these other areas that we'll go over in a few minutes, where hopefully you get a little bit of a dividend. You're not going to get absolutely crushed. And if these stocks are steady eddies and they make a little bit, it kind of helps make up for inflation a bit. Here's the cues. This is really all about 5 stocks: Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Otherwise, only 42% of the NASDAQ is above the 200, and it's really being held up by a couple stocks. We did close below the low from this day over here on the 7th. So we do have this open retest gap. It looks like that's going to fill maybe even tomorrow or Wednesday before, Powell starts talking. We'll see what happens there, but it could be a head and shoulders. IWM looks like it was going to break out, and it retested and just is chilling back in this channel. So nothing new on IWM. Here's some stocks that everyone is hiding in. So Pepsi made a new all-time high today. If we adjust the chart for dividends, very steady eddy. You're up like 20% for the year, and you'll be getting some dividends. We'll take that adjustment off. And so people are hiding in Pepsi. They got Frito-Lay, I think Cheetos, and some of that other stuff. Someone was telling me there's some type of barbecue chicken crusted KFC tenders or something like that Frito-Lay partnered with KFC on. Maybe those are a hit. That's why Pepsi's going up. But I think people are hiding in Pepsi because they don't want cash. They're like, where am I not going to get absolutely killed? And they're hiding in some of these consumer staple names. McDonald's, just made an all-time high again this morning. I mean, they just cannot buy enough of this stuff. McDonald's is up 8% in a week on absolutely nothing. I don't think they came out with any new menu or anything like that. This is a massive move on McDonald's in the last week. People are hiding in McDonald's. They don't want to get killed just being in cash. It's a steady eddy. It pays a dividend. So maybe they'll be able to keep up with inflation. There's your adjusted chart for dividends. And nothing wrong with dividends either. I mean, I wouldn't buy this thing now, but it retests, this double top. We'll see what happens on Wednesday. The king of what everyone is hiding in is Apple. So Apple almost hit that 3 trillion mark this morning. It got very, very close pre-market. I think everybody saw it coming and said, hey, let me go ahead and get ahead of this, and then started to sell a little bit. I love Apple. Apple's a great company, but this thing is up 15% in a week. 15% in a week on Apple is like $400 or $500 billion, which is bigger than like 490 of the S&P 500 stocks in a week. And it's pretty crazy. So people just can't buy enough Apple. If you want to hide out in something that you feel is relatively safe and you're not going to get killed in cash by inflation, eaten alive, where are you going to hide in? Maybe the most profitable company in the world. So everyone's hiding in Apple, waiting to figure out what is going to go on. Although I think Apple, it needs a little bit of a pullback. I mean, it's literally carrying the market on its back. The other day when the market was getting hammered last week, this thing was making new all-time highs, which was absolutely crazy. So everyone's hiding in Apple. And I think lots of fund managers, they want to show their clients at the end of the year, see, we own Apple. It's the best stock in the market. And, so they're hiding in it. JP Morgan and Morgan. If the Fed does start to tighten and if they do signal rates increasing, I could see some of the banks get going a little bit. This is down a little off the all-time high, but not very much. About 9% or so. It is trying to hold on to these long-term moving averages. If the Fed is dovish at all, I think the banks definitely get hammered. So JP Morgan and Morgan is kind of the bellwether of the financial services industry. So that's why I pulled this one up. So I think we're in a holding pattern. I'm not really in very many short-term swings up until the Fed announcement on Wednesday. We got quad witching on Friday, and then we pretty much have Christmas break. So I don't know. It's up to Jay Powell whether or not we get a nice bag of money in our stocking, or we get a big fat lump of coal on Wednesday. So we will see how the market reacts. Until then, stay safe out there. Have a happy holidays. Love life, live life, trade it, everyone. Thanks.